Well, Alexander, first of all, thanks very much for speaking to us. Just wanted to have a quick, chat about your season. First of all, so far, it's had some really good moments, some early exits. So it's been a bit of a mixed bag. How would you assess how it's gone so far?
I remember the first tournament. I think it was the European Masters, and I was preparing well for that, and I 3-0 up to Zhuye Long, and I lost 5-4, and I struggled after that. It took me a few months to get back to my form, but after it worked again. And I played well again. I had some good results. The UK, and from then on, really, I won a few matches every tournament. So I'm actually quite happy.
Yeah, I suppose in terms of match wins, the highlight of the season has to be that 6-5 win over Ronnie O'Sullivan at the UK Championship. I wanted to ask you a little bit about, you've beaten Ronnie before in the Welsh Open as well, and you've beaten quite a lot of big players across your career. I think in that run to the English Open semi-finals a couple of years ago, you beat Shaun Murphy. Do you feel against those top players with the TV cameras and on the sort of biggest stage, is that a kind of stage that you bring out your best snooker on and feel comfortable with?
I would say I can, not all the time, because I remember I played Higgins a few times and Trump twice now, and I just seem to, against these two and maybe some other top 16 players as well, to struggle a little bit. I don't know whether that's up to their play or my game. I don't know, but against Ronnie, I just feel like I can relax more, because I've seen him play brilliant, but I've also seen him play very bad, and a few times. And when I see Trump and Higgins and maybe some others, they always play 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, Sometimes they play 9 out of 10, but they never really play that bad. It happens. But with Ronnie, when his head is not right, he's not, I wouldn't put him in the same league like Higgins and Trump when they're not, when they're playing really bad, because I've seen him do that a lot of times. And that's gave me a little bit of a, I don't know how to say it, but when I play him, it's like I'm so motivated to just play him, it just calms me down, But against Higgins and Trump, for example, I just think they're so tough mentally to play against, So that's maybe the difference. But yeah, I like to play the top players, and the TV cameras don't really bother me. But it's a thing against Higgins and the other players that sometimes intimidates me.
Are you aware maybe when you're playing Ronnie that he's obviously maybe the one player who people who don't watch snooker, everyone knows who he is. He's a sort of kind of the kind of global superstar of the sport, and all eyes are on it. Are you kind of aware that there's maybe a bigger attention and focus on the match when you're playing against him?
Yeah, I do. I think that's one of the reasons why I like to play him, because I know it's like the game. If I play other top players, it's different, because I think without Ronnie, the sport will be boring, to be honest. I think Trump is taking a bit of excitement now to the game, or bringing it to the game. But without Ronnie, I think the sport will be much different. Much different. So that gives me a lot of motivation just to play him, and I think that's why I try to bring the best out of me whenever I play him. Yeah.
What was the feeling like going into that deciding? You played quite a cool and calm decider against Ronnie at the UK Championship. What was the feeling like? It must have been quite a buzz when you got over the line.
Yeah, When I got over the line, it was like, wow, I can't believe I've done this twice now. But I remember the first red in the decider. I just saw it and I thought, you got to go for this, because I was 4-2 up, I remember, and I went 5-4 down. And when it went 5 each, I just fancied it. I can't tell you why, because I was 2-0 up, 5-4 down, and I just relished the challenge. I just love playing him. I don't know why. I would have taken a loss, a defeat, but I just love playing him. I don't know.
I wanted to ask you, obviously we've got World Championship qualifying coming up. You obviously did very well in it last year and got to the Crucible for the first time. I want to ask you a bit about your experience in that event. It was a close match with Andrew Higginson in the last round, a 10-8 win. how unique is that final round of qualifying? I know you've played in it twice now. What's it like compared to any other match of the season? Because there's so much at stake, isn't there?
Tough question, I think. Well, yeah, it was a tight match. I was 9-6 up, I think. And I just got over the line 10-8, you know, with a respot, I think. So, you know, if you can't really compare that to other tournaments because it's like the biggest event ever. There's just so much pressure on it because everyone wants to qualify, you know, where in other events, you know, it's also tough, but it's nothing like a world championship, you know. And then I qualified, obviously, and I remember walking to the media room with you, and you know, and when I got to the Crucible, it was just a bit sad because there was no one there, you know. And I just thought, you know, if this is like the only time I ever get to the Crucible, it will be more sad than good memories, you know. So, and then I got beat obviously 10-2, so you know that didn't help. But you know, I definitely took a good experience out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we've now announced that we are going to have crowd at the Crucible this year. So hopefully, if you can get back there this year, then you could get to experience it. Is that a little bit of an extra motivating factor to try and come through qualifiers this year? The fact that, you know, we've got this light at the end of the tunnel. We're going to be a pilot event and have a crowd, so that there's an opportunity to compete there in front of fans this time.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, you know, I mean, I've never really had you know, audience in the Crucible, which is ridiculous to even say it, you know. I've been there, but no one was watching. So, you know, it's definitely another motivation to qualify, you know. But the main thing that motivates me the most is that I actually got there, you know, and I didn't think it was going to happen that quick, you know. And every year I seem to confirm another thing to myself that I'm capable of doing this and that, you know. So by qualifying for the Crucible, I just think I want more of that, you know, especially with now people being there last year. I just want more, you know, so it definitely gives me a boost. Yeah.
As you say, when you did get there, it was a difficult match against, you know, a really tough opponent in Barry Hawkins. Do you think that was that a match that you kind of can take a good experience from and learn from, and maybe kind of treat things slightly differently or whatever this time around if you get there?
Yeah, definitely. I think last time I thought I've done the hardest part, which was qualifying for me. Obviously, I just wanted to be the first Swiss player to ever, you know, get to the Crucible, which I've done. But then, you know, it kind of got in too much into my head, you know, and I lost focus and just didn't try hard enough. I don't know, but I'll definitely learn from that. Yeah.
And I just wanted to take things back a couple of years. You know, you obviously in 2019 you fell off the tour and had to come back on through Q School. I remember we spoke after that, and you said it was a really tough experience and something that motivates you never to have to go back there again and try and avoid. What was it like? You know, having kind of, it was a sort of all or nothing situation to try and get yourself back on the tour. What was that experience like?
I remember the last tournament in Q School, the second last round. I was playing a Chinese kid. I can't remember his name, but I was 3-1 down, and I went there basically without a plan B. Well, I've always been playing snooker without a plan B, basically, but that was tough because I was 3-1 down, and you know, feeling the pressure, and I was just sitting in my chair, and I was thinking, if I don't win this, then you know, I don't really know what I'm going to do, you know. So I put myself together, and I went to 3 each and had a match-winning break in the decider, and I felt great after that, you know. So, and after the tournament, I realized how tough Q School really is, because I don't know how many players actually go there with a plan B, you know. I guess most of them, but you know, it's tough when you've never really worked before. And then you go to Q School and you try and qualify, and you've been there before like twice, you know, and then you go play Q School again, you know, and it's just really tough mentally. That's why I said I'm never going to play Q School again, you know. I've had enough of this, honestly. So I just want to stay on tour now.
And you know, we've spoken a bit about this before, but just for people who, you know, don't know, you know, growing up, you know, near Basel, how did you originally get into snooker? How did you come across the sport?
Well, I've done lots of sports when I was young, in school time. I loved everything. Anything with a ball or anything outside. I loved it. I played tennis for 7 years. I've done lots of instruments. But it was something when I started playing snooker. I mean, I was so bad, because everyone's so bad when they start. But I just loved it. I can't tell you what it was. The sound of the ball going into the pocket, everything about it, the angles, the cushions, the spin, which I used but didn't know about. So it just gave me that, because I haven't really seen anything from snooker yet. It was new to me, and I realized there was so much to learn. And all the other sports, tennis, football, ice hockey, anything, you just really, you really know, enough about what you're doing, because you just know the sports. But snooker was different, and I just wanted to try it, and I just began from there and just loved it.
And you, I think you did, you won the national championship at a very young age, didn't you? It was kind of in your early teens.
Yeah, I won, I think the junior ones at 13. Yeah, at 13, and the men one at 15 and 16. Yeah.
And you sort of commented in the past that maybe that there wasn't a bit of a lack of competition in Switzerland, but are you hopeful now that now you're being successful on the tour that you can inspire that to grow, and that there can be more people coming through from Switzerland?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's enough talent. I had this conversation with a few players the other week. There's more than enough talent in Switzerland, Germany, Austria. There's more than enough. It's just the interest in the sports in general in the country. Is not really there. So I hope with my success, hopefully I can let that grow, and it will be amazing to be one of the reasons why they pick up the sport and play, because I'll get many compliments of young kids when they see me play in clubs in Switzerland, or even their parents, and I think that's very, very nice to see that actually the interest is there. It just needs to grow a little bit more.
Yeah, and when you are successful, what has the press coverage like been for you? Because I think we used to have that sort of bit of a joke in the press room with you being the Federer of the Bays. Because I think when you got to the English Open semi-finals, there was one time you stole the back page from Roger Federer. Have you had quite a lot of press coverage when you have had successes, and like when you qualified for the World Championship?
Yeah. I get many calls and emails when I'm still in the tournament. Which I actually appreciate, because I see they want to, obviously they got one player in snooker who's not doing bad, so they want people to know, which is nice. I just think there could be a bit more interest, because there's not really anyone, there's no sponsors from Switzerland, which could be a big help for the future of snooker in general, I think. So I hope to be able to grow that part of the game as well. But yeah, I always get many messages and requests from newspapers and television shows and stuff, which is good.
Yeah, how important do you think it is for the future of snooker? The growth of the sport in kind of continental Europe, because we've got a lot of really good young players coming through now. We've got a player from France and Brian Choyski, Ukraine and Julian Boyko, and yourself from Switzerland, and obviously we've had Luca Brissell for a long time. So there is a big raft of talent coming through now.
Yeah, and there is plenty of more, believe me. Luca, me, Simon, Lucas, we're all players. I mean, Luca obviously he's got tons of talent. You can see that. Myself, Simon, Lucas. We trying to get into the sport. But we are just the ones who were strong enough to get to that level, but there's, like I said, there's plenty of more talents, it's just whether they want to work as hard as we did or not, but if the sport will grow, I think you will definitely see 2, 3, 4, 5 players from each country, in the next 10, 15 years, easy.
Oh, well, yeah, no, that's something we really hope will happen. And, thanks very much for talking to us, Alexander.
Yeah, no problem. Cheers, bro.